Salutations, this is Mehmet Emre Dikyar and this is my friend Ali Koruk, and today we are going to watch a video that our teacher has given to us as a task that is titled Fleeing Climate Change, sorry, by DW Documentary. That is about, the video is about climate change, and so I read the comments, and it says there's pollution going on in poor countries like Sudan and so on. Shall we begin watching the video, Ali?
Yes.
All right then.
Can we?
Uh-huh.
The world has changed. Weather is getting more extreme. Today we are struggling when we're talking about people on the move in the millions. Then we're talking about people in the billions.
Drought, floods, hurricanes, vast areas are being devastated by environmental catastrophe. How many people will be forced to leave their homes by the mid-century? Not due to conflict and war, but due to climate change. We appear to be on the path to a troubling future.
Nice preparation.
Yes.
From the Sahel region to Southeast Asia, from the Pacific to the Caribbean, some people are fleeing rising waters, others, drought. The world's population began to soar about 200 years ago. Soon it will top 10 billion. Greenhouse gases are rising apace. The resulting warming of the Earth's atmosphere is wreaking havoc on the climate. Humankind, which is responsible for this warming, is becoming its victim. More and more people are forced to leave their homes. Inequality is being exacerbated by climate change. Wealthy industrialized nations are polluting our air, while the main victims live in the global south, for example, in Indonesia. Pantai Bahagia, which means happy beach, lies on the Indian Ocean. Due to rising seas and heavy rainfall, the village is sinking into the sea. The flooding continues even now during dry season. The local primary school is damp and smells of rot. Parents say conditions are intolerable, and more than half the children have been taken out of school.
Heute ist es wieder soweit. Der Nikolaus besucht
Advertisement.
viele Familien. Hoffentlich
Sorry.
habt ihr nicht vergessen, eure Schuhe rauszustellen.
So Ali, I believe those people are experiencing a hard life in harsh conditions because of incultivated areas, incultivated soil. What do you think, Ali?
This country is not developed because industrialized nations are using their
Sources, natural
sources and natural and humankind sources.
Yeah.
So industrialized nations are getting rich and rich, but undeveloped countries are getting poor and poor. And that's all for me.
Yeah. I think they also need to follow the industrial revolution because if they did follow this industrial revolution, they would have been like that. Any comments about this?
I agree with you.
Yes. So, shall we continue?
Musjayadi Ramatullah teaches in primary grades. He attended this school himself and is determined to persevere. His classroom flooded for the first time in 2013.
Conditions here are very, very difficult for us. We often have to send the children home. When the classrooms flood, the children sit with their legs in water.
Regular instruction has become impossible. The children are falling behind. Within the next 5 or 6 years, Ramatullah believes the school will be submerged. It will be abandoned, along with the village. What will it look like here 3 decades from now, in the year 2050?
Well, but at that time there will be the most extreme conditions of the weather for one, with our 17,000 islands, a lot of coast, and that will be eaten up by the sea. So life will not be the same as here. There's a lot of illnesses, there will be plagues, and the economic growth of the whole world will be disturbed by horizontal strife, one against the other, because fighting for food, water, maybe air also. That will be the very sad picture in 2050.
For the Indonesian Special Envoy, the catastrophic impact of unchecked climate change is the biggest challenge facing humankind today. 10 years ago, the topic was barely on the radar. Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. With some 10 million residents, it's the largest city in Southeast Asia. Around 30 million people live in the metropolitan area, making it the second largest urban conglomeration in the world. The fish markets are located in North Jakarta. The scent of the ocean lies in the air, mixing with the odors of the city.
Ali, from what I see in this video, despite being called a metropolitan, people are still riding with their old motorbikes and old places, like debris everywhere. What do you think the place is being Indonesia?
Because in spite of the metropolitan areas is so big and developed, it is there is a discrimination between the people. So metropolitan area is separated two sections, poor and rich.
Yeah.
Because poor people, poor people are still selling fish to live, and or rich people are the desk job.
Yeah.
Is doing the desk job.
Yeah.
Like Indonesia or like Sudan, metropolitan countries are separated to sections or more.
Yeah.
Because there is discrimination about the people. That's all.
You mean there is a discrimination between people in Indonesia, or is it international?
International,
Yeah.
global discrimination
Mm.
between people.
Yeah. So, continue.
Just a few kilometers from the city center, the problems confronting this tropical metropolis become apparent. Residents struggle with smog, heat, heavy traffic, pollution, population density, and poor hygienic conditions, and with increasing frequency, flooding. The slum district of Dadap is located near the airport. Its 5,000 residents used to live near the sea, but these days it almost looks like they live in it. Iko Zumarno has lived in Dadap since the 1970s. He and his neighbors have watched the rising sea level with concern. At least once a month, the flooding reaches his knees. Sometimes the water remains 2 days, sometimes a week.
Kira-kira kurang lebih sekitar
It flooded here for the first time around the year 2000.
kemari itu ya, itu masih kecil tapi
First, it was just a few centimeters. Since 2010, the flooding has been getting higher and higher, but it's never been as bad as it is now.
8 tahun sekarang itulah yang paling besar.
In Jakarta, the districts closest to the coast face the biggest problems. Poor neighborhoods like Dadap will be among the first to need complete.
I didn't know Jakarta was the capital of Indonesia. As of now, I didn't know that. Jakarta was capital of Indonesia.
8 numara birisine de mi yatalayım?
Bilmiyorum.
8 numarada kaptan girdin. Sağ taraftaki ranzanın üstüne atarsın.
Tamam.
Tamam? Kaptan girdin.
So, did you know about this Jakarta?
I don't know about Jakarta, but Jakarta is a poor and poor country, and full of this big pollution about the city, and buildings are so poor and so weak.
Like people are living in trash, riding old motorbikes. You are able to see they live in dirt.
And they are getting ill and illness
Mm-hmm.
more and more because they live in trash and dirty rooms.
Yes.
Because they don't reach any cleaning material.
Yeah. Like they live in poverty.
Yes, I think so.
Yes, and also they don't have any natural resources to like. At least they could have been follow the industrial revolution, but
Or they don't have soil
yes,
or agricultural material and job.
The reason why they are still alive is that they live with fishing.
Even they don't have clean water.
Yes, you are able to see water everywhere, like dirty water, contaminated water.
Water is so dirty, and even they drink it, it will be their ill.
Yes, it will make them ill.
Yes.
Relocation. The slums most at risk are situated along a wide corridor that snakes through the city, says urban planner Marco Kusuma Vijaya.
The floods are not only about the coastal areas. The floods actually happen also upstream in the city center of Jakarta, very near from my office.
Kusuma Vijaya is director of the Rujak Center for Urban Studies, which searches for solutions for climate-related problems. Right now, their focus is the depletion of groundwater from the area. The declining water table has even more serious consequences than rising sea levels. It's causing the ground to sink, and large parts of the city with it.
Jadi bagian dari
Mungkin maksudnya yang mereka mau tuh yang lebih khusus untuk on the Bay of Jakarta, the sea level rises at between 4 to 6 millimeters per year. But worse is that the land of Jakarta is subsiding by 3 to 20 centimeters.
From what is told in this video is that in the year 2015, Indonesia will submerge in the sea.
I think their underground water is so good for the people because they don't have clean water, and this underground water is getting clean water to people.
But they are not able to obtain clean water.
Rich
Rich people, yeah,
rich
yes.
rich clean water. It is the best solution for the people
Yes.
because water is most important thing for the humankind.
Yeah.
Because unless water, humankind is nothing.
Yeah.
I think so.
As you are able to see from the still image of the video, there's a water flooded in middle of road. You are able to see people are swimming in the sea, and the sea seems like it's dirty.
It is so dirty,
Yes.
and swimming in this water is impossible. Even but they get in the water, is they are getting ill, and it's impossible for the people because as I see, the water is so dirty, because it's in the water. A lot of insects in the water,
Yeah.
so swimming in the dirty water is impossible.
Yeah. Like it has a lot of risks. Swimming in dirty water.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
In February 2013, nearly half of Jakarta was underwater. Scenes like this are likely to become increasingly common. Ocean levels continue to rise, the land is collapsing, and heavy rains are becoming more frequent. About 1/3 of Jakarta is currently below sea level. Environmental problems are causing a growing number of people to flee the city, but most want to remain or have no other choice. In an effort to protect the capital, the government has begun building a seawall.
I think this is a good progress, building a seawall.
I think so. The seawall is so good process, but the water is getting high because seawall is nothing.
Insufficient.
Insufficient and nothing,
Yeah.
because the water is always getting high and high, rising or getting high, because it's insufficient
Yeah.
way.
I think so too. As building seawalls won't be enough by itself. Like there's heavy rains are getting frequent in Indonesia. So building a seawall by itself is not enough. What do you think?
Seawall.
Yes, like
Seawall is insufficient because heavy rains are
more frequent.
more frequent and is getting
Devastate, you mean?
heavy rain is devastating the seawall,
Yeah.
as I see in the video, because it's so more getting insufficient
Yeah.
because seawall is devastating always. That's all for me.
Like you cannot take any precaution for rain that is coming from the top. Like you cannot build a big huge umbrella that is covering the whole Indonesia. You know what I mean? There's rain always. And you cannot take any precaution of it.
Any precaution is insufficient because heavy rain are raining always.
In other words, I believe Indonesia is doomed by those catastrophes.
I think if I live in Indonesia, I go to other countries.
Yes, that's what people are doing in Indonesia. Taking refuge to another countries.
Or I move to any other industrialized nations
Yes.
or metropolitan countries.
So we have talked more than we watched the video. So shall we keep watching, Ali?
Yes.
And by the way, this is what
Can
our
we?
teacher, yes, and also this is what our teacher wanted us to do, talk more than we do other thing.
I think
Hmm.
we can continue.
We can continue,
Yes.
yes. It's not also been 45
This
minutes.
isn't sufficient for me.
Yes.
But only 6 of the planned 50 kilometers have been built. And even there, water is finding its way through. It's becoming clear that everything located directly on the water will one day fall victim to it, like this mosque.
Also, we are able to see from the video there is a mosque that is devastated by water. Mosque is a sanctuary, a religious place, and it's also been abandoned to water.
Mosque is important thing for the people, but the flood is devastating all building.
Yeah.
Yani, so sorry. So I don't have a solution for this problem.
Yeah.
because flood is
Inevitable.
inevitable,
Inevitable.
inescapable, inevitable.
Inevitable.
I can't say inevitable because mosque is devastating always.
Yeah. And it's not the only mosque that is being
And all
sunk down.
building, all
Yeah.
building, yeah, okay.
Bad thing is actually most of the poor neighborhoods will be flooded because the rich neighborhood have raised themselves, you know, but exactly because they raised their ground, so the water that come to their ground will actually flow into the surrounding poor.
Mit WhatsApp
Advertisement.
auf nächstem Marketing-Level. Jeder von uns kennt inzwischen E-Mail-Marketing.
neighborhood.
You are able to see children are swimming and enjoying themselves in dirty and contaminated water. That is carrying high risk for their lives.
Children are like swimming in the water, but water is so contaminated and dirty because they are getting a lot of risk and bacteria or
Sickness.
and sickness, and they are getting they are moving to risk to the families member.
Yeah. Like
I think so.
like a fever, like a virus, one from another.
Yes.
Poor districts located along one of Jakarta's 13 rivers often stay submerged for weeks when the floodwaters rise. Areas near the Chiliwung River are most at risk, like this low-income district by the Chiliwung tributary Tongkol, situated just 400 meters from the ocean. The drivers, housekeepers, fishermen, construction workers, and such that live here all face climate change-related risks.
It is estimated that 65% of our population will be directly victimized with it, which is a lot of people. Because 65% of 300 million is 170 million people. We are an island nation, and around 6,000 islands are inhabited. The coastal areas will be destroyed. They came up with figures of 40 million, because they are the coastal area people, and those are prone to the effects of landslides. So around 40 million people are directly involved.
And those involved may have to leave their homes.
Like you say, they immigrate to another countries, and it is stated in the video also.
Immigration is best solution for the poor countries because the industrialized and metropolitan nations are rich
Yes.
and work conditions are getting easy and high wage is inevitable because if I live in the Indonesia or Jakarta, I will immigrate to other nations or neighborhood because the flood and dirty water or poor conditions are getting
More severe.
more and more more and more I can't
Severe.
say severe.
more and more often.
or getting ill for getting illness for people, or borders for the people. Immigration is best solution for the
That's the
poor countries.
only solution. Yes.
Yes.
Indonesia is prone to a variety of natural disasters, from cyclones to mudslides, flooding to drought. But there is one place that is at risk of all of these, the island of Java. And it's here that one of the world's most densely populated areas is located, Jakarta. The city's infamous traffic jams last almost until midnight, only to resume again at dawn.
From what I heard, the island Java has come to an extent that people are living in tribal culture, like those in Africa, tribal culture, tribe.
They are living in tribal areas,
Yeah.
and they are loving themselves, and they are living and eating together.
That's what they do. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
because they love living together.
Yeah. And they do not get involved in any kind of communication with it. Like, in other words, they are isolated people, the tribals.
Yes, they have a tribal culture.
Yeah.
That's all for me.
All right.
Can we continue?
More than 3.5 million people commute into the city every day. Just 100 kilometers southeast, the bustle of Jakarta is a distant memory. Cianjur district is situated at the foot of two inactive volcanoes. It's one of Java's most fertile farming regions. The rice
As you are able to see from the image, some parts of, at least minor parts of Indonesia is cultivated, like greenery everywhere in the video.
They have soils and clean water, so they are raising their own vegetables and rice, or banana, or cucumber.
Yeah.
So
By the way,
they are earning their incomes.
Most part of Asia is making their lives on rice. Do you know rice? They farm rice, like
Yes,
China.
I know rice is in rice in rice is cultivating in a lot of water, and they have a lot of cold water, clean water.
Clean water, yes.
Clean water, because rice is low water. That's all.
Vegetables and fruit grown here help feed the country's capital. The village of Saronge is accessible only by motorbike or on foot. Dudu Duroni runs runs a small coffee plantation here. Like his father and grandfather, he is a farmer. Coffee used to be a safe crop choice. It fetched a better price than vegetables and was hardier than rice. But that's changing.
Coffee is best for me.
That's what you need.
When I was younger, all farmers would
Always.
plant during rainy season, so January, February, and March. And then everyone would harvest during dry season. But now my colleagues and I are desperate because it's often dry in the rainy season, and in the dry season it rains. We are paying the price for climate change. Our harvests have dropped
Coffee
massively
garden.
by about 60%.
Nearly half of local farmers have given up. They've moved to other parts of Indonesia or left the country altogether. Some have become construction workers in Saudi Arabia. But Dudu Duroni doesn't want to join them.
I can't imagine doing anything else. I will stay here as long as possible. I'm a farmer, that's who I am. I'm going to try to somehow adapt to climate change. If it's too dry when it's time to plant, for example, I'll just wait.
These mountainous regions don't just supply food to the cities. Their forests also help store rainwater. But extreme weather conditions are growing increasingly common here. And still, forests are falling victim to logging, leaving rainwater to flow unhindered into the valley. Sometimes the water sweeps away everything in its path.
The island Java is also a touristic distraction, but tourists see Java, they think it's a nice place, but it's actually not. It has other face. Ali.
Java is the- separating the two sections. Flood or a green forest. Green forests are looking good for people, but flood are looking bad. So
They are not being shown.
yeah, they don't want to show the dark side of the Java
Yes.
because people are look going Java or in other countries for the beauties of the country, but they don't want to dark side of the countries or Java or any village. That's so.
Yes, but in general, Indonesia is an authentic place.
So Indonesia is authentic place, but Indonesia has so poor conditions in general
Yeah.
because they flood. There is flood always and heavy rain or dirty water all around the country, all around the Indonesia.
Yes. So I think we should finish the video as we have talked more than we watched the video, and we are not even the halfway through the video, and it has been 40 minutes. Shall we end the video, Ali?
Can we?
So if you wanted to, we could. We would have been speak for more 5 minutes, but both of us are sleepy, so we are going to end the video just 5 minutes early. So the date is December of 13th of December 2022, and it's 11:30 p.m. So we are going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, both of us. We tried our best, but we feel sleepy, so we should end the video now. Peace
Our
out.
weather is raining.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Night. Peace out. Signing off.